All right, good morning. Welcome in for Friday Safety Focus Friday's Safety Focus. Today is May 30th. Already going to be June 2nd on Monday. Crazy to think that's already here. This week's code of conduct is to maintain respectful behavior when one is working, driving, or driving a company vehicle or wearing the company logo. You're always representing this company. Ben Dow, anything to add on this code item?
We're always advancing our image out there, and it's good when it's going in a positive direction. And this is a good way of doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Probably speaking on this code item a little bit more with Aaron's presentation as well.
I think so. It's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good way to link it back.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. So quick safety news, 14 days from our last recordable, 18 from the first aid, and 9 from a vehicle incident. So good job this past week. We didn't have any incidents flow in, so let's finish the week out strong today by first starting the day off here, and then secondary, making sure that we're doing a good JHA and communicating our hazards and overall work plan for the day. Make sure we're baking in safety into our decision making. With that said, we got Aaron with us this morning to talk about our EEO. So Aaron, take it away.
Thank you for the introduction, Matt. Yes, good morning, everyone. Hope everybody is having a nice start to their Friday. It is that time of year where we're going to do our brief annual refresher on equal employment opportunity. We're going to get through these slides with a couple of tweaks from what you might have seen last year. So hopefully I'll get good attention. And as always, feel free to come grab me if you have any questions about any of this. I'll also just give a quick bullet here up at the top, because equal employment opportunity is something that we are kind of formed through both a federal and state level. It's pretty important to get that attendance even more so than usual over to Matt or myself or Tom, just so that we can keep track for all of our reporting requirements to the state. All right, so let's jump right in with equal opportunity. So equal employment opportunity is the fundamental idea that everyone should be treated fairly whenever they are being considered for any kind of employment decision, whether that's hiring, promotion, termination, compensation, any aspect of the employee life cycle. For example, if someone is competing for a position at a company, because of equal employment opportunity, they have the same chance of succeeding if they are right to the job as any other potential candidate. So here at ECI, we are fundamentally committed to fostering, cultivating, and preserving a culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because it is our strong belief that our differences help to give us strength. Our code of conduct, as seen here, is a further tentpole for that belief of our differences providing us additional strength. All of our various code items and standards are helping to provide that professional atmosphere that's free of any kind of harassment. Additionally, if you look in our employee handbook, there are a handful of sections that are extremely relevant to employment opportunity, or equal employment opportunity rather. We have that section, as well as our diversity, equity, and inclusion statement, and our non-discrimination and harassment prevention sections in the handbook. If you need a new copy of the handbook, I am happy to get you one or send it over through the internal system as well. So because, again, we have certain regulations as part of our contract work with both federal and state programs, there are a handful of questions that we might potentially have to answer if one of the state auditors were to show up on our job site. So just as usual, we're going to quickly run through the kinds of questions they might ask. So first and foremost, we'll start off with an easy one. Is ECI an equal opportunity employer? So yes, we are. As listed in the ECI handbook, this is from that page 7 that I referenced a moment ago. We are an equal opportunity employer. Say that one 5 times fast. We extend those equal opportunities to all individuals. There are a list right below of all of the various characteristics and backgrounds that are protected through equal opportunity. Those characteristics are from both federal, state, and local law, as well as various legislative guidance and court rulings that protect these various background characteristics. Our policy, again, reflects that commitment to principles of fair employment and the elimination of any potential discriminatory practice. So, do we then have a written EEO policy? The answer to that is absolutely yes, we do. It is currently up to date and available for anyone who wants to review. This is a larger version of that short descriptor that we have in our handbook. So if ever you would like to read this document, please let me know. Happy to provide you with a copy of it. It goes into a more outlined version of our various procedures in order to ensure equal employment opportunity for all. So this one might be a little bit different from past years. Do we have a written DEI policy? And then from there, is there anything we need to be concerned about from the president's recent executive orders, since DEI has obviously been a pretty hot topic in the news in recent months? So to answer that, we do have a written DEI policy. Again, happy to provide that information for everyone. There'll be a shot of that policy again on the next slide. This policy we have been reviewing, and it absolutely continues to uphold, align with, and supplement our commitment for equal opportunity for everyone. And it is also in compliance with those recent executive orders, which help to outline what illegal versus legal DEI work looks like. So here is a brief descriptor of that policy. So again, hunt me down if you'd like to chat about it in more detail. We also have, or to bury the lead here, do we have a written reasonable accommodation policy? We also have that one. So our EEO program also involves providing reasonable accommodations for any individuals who are working within a medical condition or disability. The reasonable accommodations procedure, it allows us to have a set way to handle any of those types of requests for any kinds of reasonable accommodations that might come up for our employees, particularly aligned with the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA. So that is what that procedure looks like there for us. All right, so this one, the answer is not just a simple yes. So who is our ECI, Equal Employment Opportunity Officer? Any guesses? All right, I won't keep you in suspense. It is me, yes. So new this year, I'm going to be taking over from Mr. Dow as our new EEO officer. That means that any EEO or discrimination complaints that were to be brought to my attention, I will be responsible for handling. So that will be keeping in line with any of our internal policy and rules, the external laws and regulations that are mandated as part of EEO. So that also means that I am in charge of administrating, promoting, and really just incorporating our EEO program into the day-to-day aspects of our organization. That means that all of our beautiful poster boards that we have with all of our EEO documentation on a state and federal level, going through these annual refreshers, and any dissemination of written materials as requested by everyone. So speaking of our posters, the company is required, particularly on certain jobs where we have additional insight from the state or from federal. These policies and procedures are required to then be posted on the actual physical bulletin boards. We also have these postings made around our home office. There's one up at safety, one in the admin building, and I believe one right out the back door next to Mr. Burns' office at the 98 as well. So if ever you have any questions about the poster boards, and this is what the current version of it looks like, again, happy to chat with that in more detail. All right, and finally, just to wrap up here, there are a handful of requirements that we do have in order to be participating in good and active, upstanding EEO compliance. So first and foremost, that all of our employees are made aware of our EEO program. We do this as part of our initial onboarding experience. So for everyone who has watched these EEO programs with me as part of their recent onboarding experience, thank you for letting me kind of get some practice in. We also will have a further review of the EEO program with any new supervisors within 30 days of their start date, as well as part of that onboarding requirement. It also mandates that we investigate all of any potential harassment or discrimination complaints in a prompt, thorough, and correct manner, and that we then document any meetings regarding those complaints, and that we then have an annual review of this program, which again, I will just ping. Please let us know if you were able to watch this, whether it's in a group setting or otherwise. We just want to make sure that we are getting a good head count of everyone who we have already reviewed this with. All right. So I will pop it back over probably to you, Mr. Dow, I'm assuming.
Yep.
And
Yep.
as always, give me a shout if there's anything I can do to help, or if you have any questions about EEO, DI, reasonable accommodation, ADA, any of my many acronyms.
That was well done.
Thank you.
I am so relieved that we now have someone as our EEO officer where it can be more of a primary thing. I've always worked really hard to try to do a good job as the EEO officer, but it's always kind of fallen to the back of the list. We've had a lot of audits over the years, which we've always been highly regarded by the auditors. And I think our culture and the way we are really helps.
Yes,
But I've
absolutely.
always had a lot of, just in the back of my mind, I've always been just feeling inadequate because to have this done the way it should be. So having our HR person be the EEO officer for the company, I think we're gonna get a better result, and it makes me feel a lot better about it. So I want to thank you for taking that over.
Thank you very much, Ben.
And I think we probably go to our state jobs and we can update that one little card. I think most of them are all the same little document, so we can make a whole bunch of them and then pass them out to everyone, so that we need to post on all those poster boards who our EEO officer is.
Yes, that is the one amendment to some of our documents that is going to be tweaked. So you might be seeing a revision in the near future from me. But yes, overall, the only major change there, other than knowing who it is that you'd want to come chat with, not that Mr. Dow's door isn't also open, but the person that you'd want to come chat with, and then updating those poster boards, that's going to be done on a rolling basis, most likely in the next couple months.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. So that's my first bullet point. Erin Markle is now our equal employment opportunity officer. So reach out to Erin with any issues or questions regarding harassment, or anything that we have questions about the EEO. And those questions, we will get audited. It usually happens on one or two of our jobs a year, where they'll come out and ask questions. The answer is usually yes. They get all nerved up and call us when someone says, "Oh, I don't know. I've never heard about that." So hopefully this is enough so that you can say, "Yeah, you know what? We have a policy. I know we've got one of those. I can't tell you all the details, but contact Erin. She's our EEO officer." If everyone just remembers that much, we're gonna get good marks on our audits. And a lot of our state jobs, it is part of our contract that our employees know what this is. Okay. 401k account. Let me switch my camera around so I'm looking at. Ronnie always gets nervous when I look the other way when I'm talking to him. So I see he's watching me. So, okay. 401k account meetings next Friday. Contact Melanie if you would like to come in and talk to one of the advisors. It's usually Laura Strela. I think she's most always the one that comes, and she does a really good job. And it's a good time to halfway through the year, the calendar year already. Good time to go check out your 401k and where everything's going, and what she can help you with anything regarding the 401k. Out of town per diem. This is a reminder. I didn't put the limerick in here. They wrote a limerick about this, but I wrote it in simple terms. Make sure to match the shift code to either shift 2 for days or shift 4 for night when you're doing your per diem entries, and don't use shift 1. That shouldn't be used for per diem. Is that true, Aaron? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, that is absolutely true. And I will just say for the limerick, available on request. We can have Veronica perform it for you.
Yep. Okay. So per diem, it's for out of town, and it's either day or night. So it's either shift 2 or shift 4. Okay. The ESOP informational meetings, we've had 12 to date. Some of us are going today to attend the annual Vermont Employee Ownership Conference, where we'll hopefully get some more information and different ways that we can do a better job at communicating to you all about the ESOP. But please reach out to Aaron if you would like to be involved in some more information regarding the ESOP, because we're very flexible, and we can even do one-offs if we need to. Anyone that wants to learn about the ESOP, we want to get to everyone. So even if you're 1 or 2 people and you want to learn about it and you got some time, let us know and we'll make it happen. It's important. Just a reminder for healthcare people that have ECI healthcare, we are still in the healthcare premium holiday for another 6 weeks or so. So that's pretty awesome. We've got a new ECI employee, Sean Wells. He's a laborer. He started this week. And I have another addition that that's not in our email. Wait till you see this. There, look at this guy. Do you know this guy? ECI employee. Nick Wilson is now
Wilson.
a dad.
Awesome.
As of last night, he and Courtney, she delivered a little boy. I believe his name is Carter Brady Wilson. I think I had the stats. 5 pounds, 3 ounces, somewhere in there. We can correct it next week. We'll put it in the email. But congratulations to Nick. If you're out there, Nick, he's now a dad. So welcome to the club. Okay. I needed to add that in. I got that. Tom Pidgeon sent me this picture late last night. So I had already sent the email, so I didn't get it added. Okay. So congratulations to Nick. He's probably going to be needing to work more hours now. Make more cash. Buy car seats. So we're going to move down to the ECI Focus of the Week, presented by Ronnie Johnston. And this is regarding that project in Cuttingsville that they've been heading down there all winter, and now we get to see what they're doing. Ron?
Yep. So this is Spring Lake Ranch housing, concrete foundations in Cuttingsville. ECI was contracted with Breadloaf Corporation to perform the concrete aspects of a housing project for the Spring Lake Ranch Therapeutic Community. The Spring Lake Ranch mission is Spring Lake Ranch Therapeutic Community supports and empowers people with the mental health and substance challenges by providing opportunities to growth and thrive. Through shared experience and meaningful work, they help each person develop the confidence and skills necessary for recovery. So the project was basically 4 buildings. Building A was 1,682 square foot, 2-level, 4-unit residential housing. Building B is 1,521 square feet, 1-level, 2-unit residential housing. Building 3 was 3,115 square feet, 3 levels, 6-unit residential housing. And then there's a 2,911 square foot community center. The project started in December of 2024 and work continued through the winter months. The project is on top of the mountain, and the access road turns into 1 lane about 3/4 of the way up.
Wow.
So that was pretty tough, for mixers and trying to get mixers up there when the dump trucks were coming down. 1 lane was pretty challenging. With cold temperatures and snow pretty much every day, the crew had a lot of challenges to overcome. All 4 building foundations and the 3 residential building slabs are complete. The remaining work includes aprons, entryways, and the community center floor slab will be completed this summer. So this picture is just kind of like a model that they did in their trailer that just kind of shows the overall of what the 4 buildings and what it's going to look like when it's completed.
That's kind of neat. That was in the job trailer there. So
Yeah, basically the one on the far right, that's building B, and then it goes building C is in the middle, building A is at the bottom, and then the community center is the one on the left.
I like the Matchbox cars.
Yeah, I thought they did a pretty good job there. You know, somebody had made that. I don't know who, but. So this is kind of what it looked like pretty much all winter, you know, with a lot more snow. This is when it first started snowing up there. That's one of the buildings, that's building C.
Yeah.
I think the footings are complete.
It's nice country up in there.
And
That's-
it was nice, but it snowed and the wind blew. This just happened to be a day where the wind wasn't blowing. It was actually not too bad out, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see the history of this place. If you go on the web and look it up, it was started many years ago, and it was just a place where people could go and work on the farm.
I wanted to throw this picture in there because, you know, Jim doesn't get in too many pictures, you know, with the boom truck. So here he is unloading the forms. We just starting the wall. Of course, you can see there's no snow there yet.
Yeah. It's a lot easier than doing it by hand, Ron, like we used to have to do.
Yep.
Holy cow.
This is building B. You can see the snow. It was a lot of challenges, you know, for the guys. And this is all tall wall.
Double
And,
stack. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they even went taller because they added a fire suppression pit inside the building for their sprinkler system. So we had to drop the walls down to meet that. So it ended up being a good change order and taller walls.
Wow.
This is just a building B again, just showing, you know, when they had just the forms up, no rebar. So thought that was a pretty cool picture.
You guys are doing a good job out there taking care of those forms. Those things they go bad really quick if you don't take care of them. And these guys do a lot of work refacing them, right?
Yep, I think the most part, everybody does a pretty good job, you know. Even like when the bridge guys use forms for some of their own little projects, they do a great job on keeping them clean and sending them back.
It makes the final product look a lot better.
It definitely does. And we spend a lot of time and energy and money into refacing these forms. So that's just another building B, just kind of showing. I had a couple of more pictures of building B in there that, so you can see right there on the straight ahead, you can kind of see the 2x4 sticking up out of the wall. That's actually the walkout door. There's going to be a walkout right there. So,
so you guys block that right out within the form and pour around it?
Yep. And then that way, that was nice because when we poured the slab, you know, it was an easy access in and out of that building.
Oh. You guys, oh, wow. So then rebar and everything for the header, and it's just a hole in a wall.
That's just an overall, what it kind of looked like as the guys were getting ready to pour it.
I know the safety guys are thinking slips, trips, and falls. It always gets that time of year. We always worry about that. There's always a grade going down to where you guys work.
Oh yeah. The guys are pouring the wall. You can see it looks all black there because we covered it all up with blankets. We did that basically as a T&M, any covering with blankets, uncovering the footing, that was all kept track of, and we charged them as a T&M. So it worked out good for us.
It's nice to have some winter work.
Yeah, and this job came at the right time because we bid it and we weren't successful, low bidder. And then out of the blue, they called me and apparently the guy that was low bidder couldn't do it or couldn't get to it. And they asked they asked us if we wanted to do it for the number that we gave them, and I said, yep. And so it worked out well. Can you see the little ramp they got right there on the left side there to walk up to get
Oh, yeah.
onto the staging and the forms there? So I thought that was pretty nice
Got
to show.
Cleats and railings.
Yep. This is building C. And I might have the buildings mixed up, so Paul, if you're watching, sorry. But I think this is building C, we already poured and stripped it.
Yeah, sometimes those places where you guys got to work is a little. It's nice
Yeah,
to see
the-
that, but it's tough to get in and out of those
The
places.
digger didn't
sometimes.
do the best of jobs. A lot of these holes, we had to go in and shoot, and hey, you're a foot low, so he had to come back in, and you know how that goes. It's not good for any of us. So
So
we
you
had a little bit of downtime.
you guys appreciate working for ECI, having ECI do your digging?
Definitely.
This helps.
That definitely does. Makes a big difference, Ben. I just
There's
threw
some
this in there. This is all stripped out. This is back to building B, the tallest foundation. Thought that was pretty neat, showing all the corners, and walls all came out really, really good. No rat spots.
It's always a trick getting those forms and those angles to end up at the right place with all your fillers and fractions.
Yeah, they have this building already built, and I was talking to the builder, and he said that, he said there wasn't nothing wasn't out of whack. He said it was it went together really good. So he was very happy about it.
Yep.
The guys did a great job on keeping it square and level. I think this is A. This is building A, I do believe.
Yep. So that's just going to be a frost wall.
Yeah, the rest of them are just frost walls. The community center was a little bit more, a lot of interior frost walls. All these buildings too have like interior footings with little 8-inch knee walls, because their plan was to have the foundations done in the winter, and they could build on them and then do the slab. But it didn't work out that way. With the digger couldn't keep up with us, so we ended up just doing a lot of the slabs with a thickened edge at that point, because it was warm out.
Yep.
We could do the slab, and then they could build on top of the slab.
Yep.
That's just a slab all prepped, ready for concrete. I think the guys prepped it, and then we're heading down there the next day to place it. Was actually building C there.
That's got mesh. Is that mesh in the slab, or is it
Yep.
rebar?
Yeah,
Yep,
no
mesh.
mesh.
Oh, and the mesh is up off the bottom. Huh.
Yeah.
Cool. That's not what normal concrete guys do. You guys are actually put it where it should be.
The guys are starting to pour it. You can see the screed there. I don't know. It must be we're waiting for trucks.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody there. This is the building B interior slab. When we're pouring this, obviously this had to be ground line. They already have the building up. Guys are getting it poured out.
Wow.
And this is either A or C. I'm not sure which one this one is, but this is the last slab.
Did they
And
have
we have one more to
Yeah.
do.
Do they have any insulation under the edges of that slab, or is it just
There's insulation underneath of the Stego
Stego?
vapor barrier. And you can see right there on the right hand side of the coal chute, you can see this is building A. This is the one that we did with we had to do the footers and the little knee walls, because you can see the little knee wall kind of sticking up in the middle there. But it's that was
cool.
pretty cool. Paul did that. He did the footing and the little 8-inch knee wall all together. So that saved us a lot of time.
Nice. Oh, now we got concrete.
Yeah, they're finishing one of the slabs. This is building C. I think this is building C also. That's finished product. Of course, they've been, people have been walking on it, get a little dirty, but That's the basically finished product.
That's pretty awesome. Now, what's this picture?
This is a picture that Todd's always trying to always telling me that, you know, he works, but his hands are always clean. So he said this is his hand, but I don't think it is. I think it's somebody else's hand, and he's just taking credit for it.
No cuts, scrapes, or bruises.
No,
Good. All right. Thanks, Ronnie. Good job.
you're welcome.
Since it was still kind of Memorial Day this week, I left this picture in for anybody that wanted to just have a second look at Kevin. This is when Kevin got deployed in 2004 when he headed out. And he's in our thoughts still, as always, but I just wanted to leave that in there for one more week. I couldn't delete that photo. I just needed to leave it in there one more week. I was there that day when he left. So I'll turn it back over to you, Matt.
All right, thank you. Good job today. If you're watching a group setting, like Aaron mentioned a bunch of times, we would really appreciate you guys sending over attendance, group settings. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, if you could reach out over the weekend or later today, if you watch this, please text us, email, call us, just so we can capture attendance for those potential audits that we may see from the EEO annual training that we need. Let's have a safe day. Let's have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.